Yeah, bless. Yes, blessed love, Michelle McDonald. Give thanks. It's a healing. Yes, we do give thanks for life and a mighty life giver, and we give thanks for all good things around us are basically sent from Zion above. So we praise for I, for His divine love. Definitely, we do give thanks for all those who are with us live here, Livity, right here in St. Lucia. Give thanks for all the beautiful people of St. Lucia who are definitely here with us live on Helen Television service, and also give thanks for all the people who are live with us on YouTube and those people who are live with us on Instagram. Definitely, we do give thanks for life, and give thanks Weasel Patwa, give thanks Valerie, give thanks I am Tochila, give thanks Joanne, give thanks Marvel Max, give thanks for all those people who are with us. Definitely we do give thanks for life and the mighty life giver. This light, what we are really going to be speaking about is, we focus somewhat on the whole aspect of the feminine aspect of things, and we looked at the woman and estrogen dominance. Tonight we're just going to go on a bit on the whole aspect of the overall wellness of the man. We're going to just focus a bit on what you would refer to as prostatic health or wellness of the man, and also as the true essence of manhood, that capacity to actually be able to transmit that soul being, into the physical chamber of creation, the womb of the woman. So if it is very important that if it is that we have to fully get that understanding, that even when a man actually is actually in the process of conceiving, coming together, and he's about to ejaculate, or probably ejaculate early, and the whole essence of it, not just being that kind of a physical aspect, because the way that things are in life, the way that things are in society, people don't really have that level of respect and sanctity and honor for themselves primarily. Hence, when it comes to their relationships, that means that how is it that they relate with other people? How is it that they are in their specific relationships, be with their mother or their father or their sister or their uncle or whoever it is? Even the man that is actually down by the roadside, actually walking down the road, it is very important that we have that level of understanding, knowing that even in St. Lucia, so most times when people actually come in to fill up like a consultation form, and part of the consultation form would be marital status, and I mean, plenty people who just write single, like single. Okay, now, if it is that you are in a relationship, or let's say that you are married, probably say married, but everyone that is not like physically married with a ring on, the great majority of them would just say that they are single. You know, and we are talking about probably at least 90% of these same people who say that they are single, they are in a committed relationship. A relationship whereby they might be living in the same house with the individual, and they might more than likely have children, you know, and they are sharing that space for a prolonged period of time. Yet still, when they fill up that aspect on the form, they would put single. Then in St. Lucia, I mean, it is like a habit or a saying that most times, and it just goes to show you, I mean, if it is that you're really single and then you live in a house with somebody, just because, so what, so don't, okay, can't you even say, well, you are in a committed relationship, or you are in a common law relationship, or some type of thing, you know, but people who choose to say that they are single. Now, it's very important to understand what type of mindset. And then most people would say, well, in St. Lucia specifically, they have a new thing that they say. So if it is that you, instead of if you ask somebody whether they're in a relationship or what type of, you know, they'll say, well, they have a person. I just really laugh at that one, you know, because how can you telling me that? You know, I mean, I'm talking about big people, you know. I'm talking about big people, elderly people. You know, people who are 40 years old, people who are, you know, 50 years old, you know, and people probably who are 35, 25, you know, and then other people, they'll tell you, right, they have a person, you know. So, how is it then? What kind of mindset that you have as an individual? That the way that you consider your relationship with the person that you are actually living with, you have children with, you know, you say you have a person. I mean, if I am the person that you are calling a person, I mean, if I am, well, if it is that is how you would categorize that individual in your life, that key individual, that specific individual that shares that divine space with you, all you call them is like a person. That I have a person, you know. Well, that's my person there, man. So I don't really know what it really is supposed to actually to mean. I mean, it's like you have a person, you know, or you have like a, okay, you have this or you have that, or you have this or you have that. But I mean, as Rastafari, what we normally say is that you have an empress, or you have a king man, you know, or that's your empress, or that's your queen, you know. But how is it that we actually come to the point whereby I'm talking about committed relationships and relationships that's supposed to be like rock solid, but the whole perspective of people on how they actually look at the level of commitment, you know, is that they just refer to themselves as the list of things and all type of ways that they deal with their physical structure. Now, when it comes to the man, the way that the society have everything organized is that the majority of man have not being able to actually reach that aspect of manhood. So many people, you might see them with big beard and they even gray and all, I mean, they're gray and all, and even walking stick. And probably they're still just 12 or 14, or some people even 8. I'm serious, man. That's why in some societies, in some cultures, you definitely have to go through specific, right, practices, rituals. Specific rituals you have to go through just to enter into that realms of your manhood, to understand what it is like to be a man. And yes, rites of passage. We are in a society whereby a father would never have a conversation like, as your father. Remember, my father, I have a father. I mean, I have a navel string, I came from the womb of a woman. I slid right out of a vagina into the world. There's no big secret about that. I give thanks for my mother, and a sacred womb. And I give thanks for my father, and his sacred prostate and testicles, and give thanks for that physical 23 chromosomes in that sperm, and give thanks for that physical 23 chromosomes in that egg of the woman, my mother, and give thanks for my spiritual mother and father also, that actually took me out of the stars and brought me into the physical realms and into creation, right? Through the testicles of my father and the womb of my mother. So I give thanks for that. So a key aspect of being a man is having that love and appreciate loving the womb, the vagina that you slid out of. You have to really love the woman, man. You have to understand that. You understand as a man, then you have that full understanding that you actually slid out of a vagina, and then you spend 9 months in darkness, floating in a bag in water, submerged in water for 42, 43, 44 strongs in water, in the darkness, in the womb of your mother, and understanding that within that time that you were as you grow and you literally feed of everything that your mother actually ingests, both physically and also emotionally, and whatever actions that your mother was having at that particular time and a pattern, whatever she's doing, you are consciously, going through the same thought patterns, and you are specifically, living that life within the womb, in that bag of water. And that first step of your manhood, that knowing exactly out of what you actually come from, and understanding the significance of that process, whereby you could honor your mother, the woman that carried you for over 42 strongs in a womb, and then pushed you out of her vagina, your big head and everything, right? And your white shoulders. So then, as a man, you really have to love your mommy, and honor your mommy, That's supposed to be a core and fundamental principle. That you have that level of responsibility whereby you fully understand where you're coming from, and then you could honor that womb, man, and honor your mother, whereby you never kiss your mother. I personally have never kissed my mother, nor my grandmother, Whew. Never done that, and I have learned through experience within my own life as a man going through life, because remember, we're coming out of a culture where the great majority of I and I never got a hug from their mother. Sometimes you grow up as a big man and you never get a hug. Never get a hug. Plenty big man with beard and everything, man, and they gray and everything. Never hug them and tell them, I love you, my son. Their father never hugged them and tell them, I love you, my son. So it's not like as if, you coming from that level of life, that experience, that portal whereby whatever it is that you have gone through as a man, that you have experienced, that care, that tender, that love and that affection. That's our society that we're coming from, whereby the mothers are not even able to actually show that love. And it is not, when you really understand what the black woman in specific had to go through 400 years of slavery, and whereby the black woman was taken and she was brought forward to stand and to observe while the manhood of the man was stripped away from him. So they would take the man, the black man, and they would rip his wife. And then they'll take the black man, they'll beat him up, and they'll tie one leg to one horse and tie one leg to another horse and beat this horse and beat that horse and split the black man apart, in front of the black woman with her black sons next to her. Right? So we must then understand that, because I went through things whereby as a man growing up, I never knew my mother actually loved. I never knew that. I was like growing up and I never knew my mother cared, I never knew that my mother cared. I never knew that. As a man, you're growing up and I don't know that my mother actually really care about me. I just feel like my mother probably doing 1-2 things for me, and then that's it, and I don't really know if my mother really cares. It's when, at a point in my life, when I did something whereby I was arrested. And then my mother, I saw my mother. When I came out of that cell and came out, and come out and saw my mother cry, right? I never thought that my mother cared that much about me. I never understood that, because you never grew up in the culture whereby that love from a mother to a child is expressed to that extent. But understand the black woman still, man. It's nothing against my mother. And that's why I'm telling you that. My mother is a product of over 400 years of constant programming, whereby everything that the black woman loved was brought in front of her and tortured and killed. So how then, who do you think that your mother could raise her sons? Do you think that the mother would want to show any affection and show Massa or show, the slave master, that fella there, the evil guys? You feel that she'd want to show him that she care about that man? No, man, she'd not show that she care about that man at all. No, she won't show that she care about her children. No, she won't care about the children. So she pretends that she don't care. Because she doesn't want the man that she actually care for to be tortured and killed in her presence. So she deals with the man like she doesn't care. She doesn't show her sons any affection. Just to save them. Just because he does not want to go through the hurt and the pain. Now, not overstanding that, as a people or as an African woman that was captured from the continent and brought to the West, that you have to go through that generation after generation. Yeah. So you could imagine that the end product of what we have today is a woman who does not understand what she's been through and does not have the capacity to actually raise up her man. Raise him up, because remember, the woman has that power to actually take in the sperm and take all the ideas and all the information and manipulate it and create it into something wonderful. Life. The same way, that the woman was utilized to actually destroy, right? To make the man lose his manhood. Imagine, when it is that you don't get that type of affection from the woman, man. Come on. And you as a man growing up, man, you see that kind of bitterness that you have even towards the woman. You could see that there is not even that effort from the man to actually protect the woman. So the first step in being a man is understanding what it is that our sisters went through. And that's why they call her a sister, a sister. So, that's why you have to assist the sister. So I learned that, I remember when I was growing up, my naughty and thing, and my mother said, why you put up naughty and thing? My mother was so upset. And she said so many different type of things, man, some horrible things. All the different types of things that I could have been doing instead of growing my Congo naughty and taking the trad of the Rasta man. That was the last time that I really cried. Probably I was a teenager. Tears actually came out of my eyes that day. Of all the things my mother was saying, and I saying, but come on, I'm choosing to live a life where I don't drink rum. Not gonna smoke no coke, no sell no cocaine, no get involved in no violence, and I'm gonna choose a righteous life, the Rastafari life, and you telling me I could do all these things there. And why is it that's the thing that I want to become? And then now, I remember that time. I was a teenager, about to grow my locks, and then go on the serious path of Rastafari and hearing these type of words. Tears actually came out of my eyes. But I was so blessed to have a grandmother. So then I went into the arms of my grandmother, because it was like my grandmother was the one who actually nurtured me right? So my mother actually born me, but the great majority of my childhood and my life was with my grandmother. So I give thanks that I had a grandmother that actually, I could have gone into the arms of my grandmother, and tears actually came out of my eyes. That was the last time I said I'd ever cry for anything, and that time there, I said, yeah, man, come on, how can my mother? So you could overstand that, man. I mean, come on, how can your mother say something like that? And then, with wise mind, knowledge, and understanding, as time goes by, then you understand that yes, my mother actually went through that. Okay, generationally, right? Way back when, during slavery time, the black woman went through this. But also, the black woman went through it again during the time of Rastafari. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Whereby you understand that at that point in the existence, that stage of life, that the Rastafari was being shot, arrested, looked down upon, victimized. You couldn't get a job. Certain places you couldn't, you understand? Police would just stop you and arrest you. Police would shoot Rasta. They have countries like Dominica where they had the Dread Act, whereby they used to shoot Rasta man and bury them up in the mountain. In St. Lucia, you had the Mount Jimmy raid, where they went up into the mountains and shot some of the Rastafari brethren and them and chased them out of Mount Jimmy. And you understand? There were many families down here, many Rastaman who were killed on cannabis plantations and just thrown in the back of pickups. So my mother knew that the life of a Rastafari would have been a tough life, a dangerous life, a life that she would be constantly filled with pain because she would never want to see her son in no type of trouble. So when my mother actually said all these things about why it is that and I shed tears, right? Why is it that I would become a Rastafari? I understood that. It's because of the love that she has. So when I saw my mother actually cry, and I understood that, and all these things there I understood everything and say, yeah, okay, bam, 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 bam. Then the light shine. So the reason why she was not happy of me becoming and evolving as a man, into a Rastafari, is because of the pain and the suffering that the Rastafari used to go through, discrimination. So she never wanted to see me suffer. She never wanted to go through that pain and see her son suffer. So that was what she was talking out of. That's how she knew how to express her love. So even if we might see that our mothers are not expressing that love, that's why it is he that knows better, do better. Even if you feel like they're not showing that love, it does not mean that your mother don't care. It is how it is that they were socialized into showing that they care. It is only now that you see that parents, mothers and fathers, they are making a greater effort to actually show that love. So when you have that level of understanding, to understand that whatever you go through, and even if all your mother did was, I have a wonderful relationship with my mother. You understand? So at the end of the day, I would not, as I say, man, I mean, it is important that as a man, that's your first step of manhood, you know, to be able to show that love and understanding to the womb that you actually came out of, the woman. Then that will determine how you deal with your empress, how you deal with woman on the whole. How is it that you see them, and how you, if you just see them as backside breasts and vagina and thing, or a piece of flesh, or you see them as that divinity, that sanctity, and you deal with them in a level of love and respect and honor, and take care of them how they're supposed to be taken care of. So I always tell a man, never curse your mother. Never curse your mother. Even if all your mother did was just push you out of the womb, never curse your mother. You cannot do that. This is the first step of attaining to a level of manhood. I'm not talking about loving Jesus, or Allah, or Haile Selassie. I'm talking about your physical mother. The one that pushed you out of the womb. So that is when you actually, really understand the true concept of being a man. So that would make you understand when the Bible says you have to leave the I can't remember what it says again, man. Leave the whatever of your mother and the bosom of your mother, whatever, and cleave to your wife. Or can't remember what that quotation says, but it says something like that, where the time comes when a man have to leave his mama, and then cleave to his other mama, who is like his wife, because your wife is like mama too. Your empress is like mama too. So at the end of the day, I'm not talking about your person, that's why I'm telling you that some people say, oh, I have a person. I'm talking about a higher significance, higher level of intentionality, higher level of expression of love and understanding and holding something sacred and something divine. A relationship that is not just based upon that whole physical aspect, but you understand that the woman that you are with, as your woman, your empress, is a physical representation of the mother that you actually came out of. And so is your daughter, and so is your auntie, and so is any other woman outside there. So this actually helps you to be able just to treat a woman in a proper type of way. So when you have certain things and certain crimes are perpetrated against women, and them type of things, man, I mean, at the end of the day, the woman is actually is it. That's the vessel that has to be protected. That's the treasure that has to be protected. She actually is who carries the seed. The woman has the mitochondrial DNA. So as a man, your first, if you have to continue creation and be able to continue, life as is, definitely you have to be able to give that understanding, whereby well, look, you came out of a womb, and then you're gonna respect and you're going to honor that womb, and you're going to never curse your mother, never, and your father also. It's not that I'm belittling the father at all. I was just expressing that first and foremost, you have to understand that, because as a man, you're gonna have to cling to your wife, soon. So if you have a bad relationship with your mother, how is it that you're ever going to be able to cling to your wife properly? You understand? And then still check for your mother, but well, your wife is the thing now. So there comes a point in time when your wife comes before your mother. Yeah, of course I'm okay. Yeah, it's not like as if your mother gonna come. When a man, there comes a point in time when your wife actually becomes the most important woman in your life. Your empress, yeah, that's it. I mean, it's not your mother anymore. And it doesn't mean that you don't love your mother and you won't be taking care of your mother, but, not but, and, the key, the number one woman in your world is that empress. But you could only know that when you actually understand that key aspect of you coming out of the womb, and then you yourself as a man now going to continue creation with your woman. So then your empress becomes that number one woman in your life. Not your mother anymore. Yes. And my mother knows that, and she knows I love her, and she'll always be my mother. Nobody can take her away. Mama Maria, give thanks. So definitely we do give thanks for life and the mighty life given, that you understand that these simple little fundamental principles of manhood is something that nobody actually tells the man to love his mother. Nobody actually tells the man how to deal with his wife. And I don't believe in like man in front, woman behind. I more believe like side by side. So we walk side by side. It's not like as if the man there and the woman, no, side by side. So we go into the thing side by side. And I would even push the woman at the front and say, go ahead, honorable, give thanks. Go ahead, honorable, give thanks. So the society that we live in, enough of the things that's happening is because these simple little conversations is never had with a man. And even if you're a father, and you have a son, you're supposed to be able to actually talk to your son and tell your son how to deal with a woman. Because remember, you have generations and years of knowledge. You have years and years and years and years of knowledge, of experience. Years and years and years and years and years. And then you now not telling your son nothing about how to speak to a woman, how to touch a woman, how to caress a woman, how to kiss a woman, how to house a woman, nothing about a woman, man. Nothing. My father never really tell me nothing about, nothing about how to deal with a woman. Well, he did tell, at a point in my life, he tell me, priest, you must take care of your woman. He always used to say that. Priest, you must take care of your woman. Yeah, but it would have been good if he told me exactly how to do that, It would have made life a lot easier for me. At the end of the day, at least I would have gained the experience, of my father. Now, if it is that I was not aware, because I am a different type of being. I'm a higher human being. I am a man who is really connected to my seven-stranded DNA. I'm not just a two-strand DNA. My DNA is different. I don't know what you're talking about. You see all the things that they call junk DNA. I just use them things very well. So I could actually access my genetic memory bank and understand exactly my father's experience, that I already have that. So I am not just of the physical manifestation, but I am also experientially. I have experienced everything my grandfather and my great-grandfather and my father and all these men experienced, and my mother's father and his father and his father's father and his father. Yeah, all these things that I just jump and get access into that directly into the memory bank, and then I could uplift myself from that knowledge. If I didn't have that capacity, I would have just been a loss. I'm telling you, a lot of men, they have the gray and they have beard and everything, and up to what they like today, they don't know how to deal with a woman. I'm telling you, man. Some man might just watch some porn and believe like what they see in the porn is what they have to repeat. But no man that's supposed to have known, not all, come and speak in and tell like the young man, honorable, you know what you have to do when you approach a woman, right? First and foremost, you must take care of yourself. Make sure you bathe properly. Use your rag underneath your arm, wrap behind your neck, and make sure you wear a rag, beneath your testicles and between your legs, and make sure you bathe with a rag. As simple as that. Just so that you could smell sweet and nice and Those smell sweaty and sour. So at least, who doesn't love the smell of a beautiful flower? Tell me. Fresh. I mean, I don't think anybody loves. That's why they call it stink. Oh, that stink. And even if you say stink, and you say stink, you're already like that. It's repulsive. Stink. Oh, that stink. I mean, a man could sweat. But definitely no one teaches the man how to care himself. You understand? Well, you understand? Clean up yourself. Right? So, if it is that simple aspect of hygiene when it comes to, what we call it, hygiene, hygienes. If it is these simple aspects of hygiene is not actually being taught of how to clean his testicles, because your testicle is not that skin hair. Your testicle is wrinkled up and it shrivels up and it expands. Because why? It controls the temperature of the temperature of the testicles would actually decide whether a sperm is alive or whether a sperm is dead. So your testicle actually contracts and relaxes. It pulls up to your booty to actually increase the temperature of the testicles, and then it actually pushes out and moves away from your body. Right? Claudia, that's true. But Claudia, you never tell me that, Claudia. Hey, what Michelle Claudia is like a school. Well, we were at school together, secondary school, and now she's saying I always had charisma. You taking 40? I mean, you taking how many years? I'm 43 now. Right? So at the end of the day, man, you have taken. I mean, I was when we were at school together. Probably I was 15. And now you're telling me that. So it's how many years? 15, 20, 3 years, man. Claudia, man, come on. You should have said that a long time. Right? So at the end of the day, but give thanks anyway for letting me know. At the end of the day, nobody teaches that, and people don't really know, and people don't really actually have that level of understanding whereby at least they could actually deal with their physical structure and take care of themselves. So, I mean, when it comes to the whole aspects of sexuality, oh my goodness, whew, that one there is like something that nobody talks to the young man about, man. No one talks to the young man about it. No one at all, no one at all, no one at all, no one at all. I mean, some man, the big man, no, they big and so, but not big man, they're just big in size and thing, but they don't really even know nothing about how to take care of their wife. From every aspect of it, especially when it comes to the whole aspect of that sensual gratification coming together, and nobody taught them, nobody's teaching them, nobody's telling them. That's why we had the rising of the God's retreat, and that was like a real positive vibes, So at least as a father, man, I try to have a conversation with my son and talk to him straight, and tell him exactly what happens, I tell the man, exactly, what to do, come on, tell him sometimes he might even run away. But I who's gonna tell him, man? So you're gonna let TV tell them and think they might smile and they might run away and think, and but nah, man, you have to express to the man that you have to deal with his woman properly and speak lovely words to her, especially when you coming together with your empress, man, your woman, man. You have to utter beautiful words. The woman loves to hear good words, So at the end of the day, so you think that you're just going to be there and your mouth just closed and then you just going broke it up. I'll kill her in your head and thing and then and then you're not even saying one beautiful word. Nothing of like no compliment. No, man. As a man, if you have to understand that. I'm live on TV. Even if I'm live on Instagram and I'm last live on TV in St. Lucia. I don't know if people just do these things there on TV, but I do. The children The children should look at it also. The children watch more porn and all type of thing on their phones and all them things and them thing. Better you tell them your children exactly how it is, or else they're gonna watch it on porn and thing and some old fella, going to show them exactly how it is. And yeah, so at least it is important as a man to understand that in dealing with your woman, you have to frequently compliment. And sometimes you get carried away because you get accustomed and you have a beautiful rose next to you, and the black rose, and then you just get comfortable and you don't even realize and you know that and you just expect that she knows that she's beautiful, and then probably she just needs to hate from you. Oh, honorable, oh, you smell beautiful. Oh, give thanks. Right? Oh, look awesome. You look wonderful. Oh, give thanks. And because the confidence of our sisters have been actually shattered. And so just you, by expressing some tender words of love to your woman, and express love and affection, right, to your woman. This makes a lot of difference. Right? So it might be years that you have been coming together with your woman, and another woman, I have had conversations with sisters, right? And they come and they say that they have never had an orgasm in their life, and they are in a relationship and they don't know what that is. I'm telling you, they don't know exactly what it is. And they say sometimes they even pretend. I'm serious. And a lot of men, they say they have premature ejaculation, whereby they ejaculate. Well, they don't even ejaculate, they ejaculate early. So they ejaculate real early. And as we've said, there's nothing wrong in being the minute man. There's nothing wrong in being a minute man. If you're a minute man, that means your empress would have to be like a 40-second woman. So at least if it is that you are able as a man, so if you have an ejaculation in when we say an organism, people say orgasm, but we say organism. If it is that you have an organism in 1 minute, better your empress had one at 40 seconds, and then she had one the other 40 seconds. Probably she had 2 of them already. And at least then, you understand? You say, well, you're a minute man, you will still be happy because at least your empress is actually taken care of. But if you ejaculate so early that, she doesn't, then there are simple things that as a man that you could do. And so, without confidence, you are already defeated in the race of life, right? So at least if you're already nervous and you're afraid and thinking, probably you won't even get an erection. Who a dog would be chasing and they would, if a dog chasing you, you're going to get erect now. So it's important to understand that, that these topics are not topics that have been taught to us, and it's things that our young man need to know about, how to speak to a woman, how it is that, how you touch your lover, the person that you love, the person that you get affectionate with, how you touch them. So you mean your father never tell you that? Mine never told me that, If my dad had told me that, man, come on, I had to tap into my ancestral genetics and learn what all my great grandfather know just for me to know what I know. So it don't have to be like that. Our society can be designed in a way whereby we teach our children what they need to know. Because coming together, what people call sex, CX, right, is basically one of the most important aspect of any relationship, because that is how creation, that's how you make baby, come on, there's no excuse. Without coming together, no creation. Without coming together, so there's nothing to be ashamed about that. It's supposed to be something awesome, something fantastic, something great. Something that you could fully embrace, because you bring forth creation. So the education, your education, supposed to be designed to actually make you a holistic being, someone complete, not partial, not halfway, not a quarter way, but complete. So, my young brothers and my young sisters, just understand that no matter what, never curse your mother nor your father, and make that be like the whatever we learn from this program today. Make it be that foundation. The first step towards attaining your manhood is understanding where you come from, what you came out of, and being able to show that level of gratitude and love and affection towards that. Definitely, we give thanks. Our next program, our other program in the future, upcoming Tuesday, we're going to go more into the little prostate, But I had to just give you that little aspect there, because 70% of prostate problems comes from lack of self-confidence and traumatic life. As a man, it comes from up there. Man prostate get big and thing, and they get premature ejaculation and all them different type of things, just because confidence. Lack of confidence, we are twice defeated in the race of life. Yes, so we have about 5 more minutes, so I'm gonna just take some questions. We open up the lines. If you have any questions, you have 5. Okay, we have 4 more minutes. Any questions that you have, we're gonna answer it. Give thanks, Bongo Congo Mongo. He salute I. Oh, give thanks for the salute, my Lord. Blessings, Edith Clark. Thanks for sharing. It's not my knowledge, it's ancestral knowledge, man. I'm just a vessel. And nothing to do with me. I just pick it up and share it with you, because it's my duty. So when the father actually asked me, but priest, man, how you never did your job? I say, yeah, man, you can look at them and look it on Instagram, man. It's on YouTube, man. Look at right there, man. I doing my work, man. Yeah. So it's not my knowledge. It's just ancestral knowledge I'm actually taking in. Honorable, can you speak on how to start cleansing? Okay, that's a whole topic by itself. I'm going to do a topic on herpes and all these different type of things at some other time. But I'm not gonna go into that. Yes, Mr. Persil, give thanks, Honorable. What happened? My mic have a problem, man. So definitely, so we give thanks. I mean, if you have any questions, I'm hearing the mic, the phone ringing, but like it's like I'm not hearing anything. All right, so if there is anything, I mean, come on, just let me know. But I just always tell my brethren, as I see my brethren, they're live on Instagram. Yes, Honorable Blessed, give thanks. Yes, caller. Yes, my Lord, give thanks. How are you doing? I'm blessed, give thanks. What about the eye? I'm blessed, man. I'm hearing you, Go ahead. I'm listening to you. Go ahead. Woman too sweet? I mean, if the woman is, I don't think so. If a woman, if it is that you have premature ejaculation because the woman too sweet. If a woman is sweet, you'd want to enjoy the sweetness probably for days. You wouldn't just. So if something sweet, you just jump on and you're off like as if nah, man. I think that You see, if you got what you're saying, then you it's because a lot of man doesn't breathe. Okay, okay, all right. You could hang up his thing, so I will answer him off on the air. His thing ringing in my ears. A man don't have premature ejaculation because the woman too sweet. You know, basically, one of the key things you could do. A key thing is just learn to breathe. You know, just breathe, and just keep all the abdominal muscles free, and breathe during coming together. A lot of men they don't breathe. They just go juk 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 and then afterwards they call it the oxygen depth. Right? Breathe. Take your time and breathe. The more you breathe, the better control you have. So breathing is better for you. Just breathe and relax. And it is just something that you learn at school, how you could breathe, free up the abdominal muscles here, rectus abdominis, you know, and just free up and you breathe. You know, if the woman is not because the woman too sweet, you have premature ejaculation, you don't control your breathing, and then, you know, there are plenty other different things. We're going to have a program on that probably some other day, but definitely I won't go deep into that one there because it's not about premature ejaculation at all. It's about more than that. It's about manhood. What I was saying, man, I saw my brother on there. I'm just gonna bless him up. I mean, and just make. I mean, that's on Instagram there, Mr. Purcell there. You know, this is a man that was. I'm growing up. Growing up as a young man. You know, I'm from Buslagwas Labrie. You know, that's where I'm from. I was fortunate to be around a lot of people, people who actually contributed very positively into my upbringing, man, that I could have actually looked up to within my community, you know, and there were people who actually made it their responsibility, like Mr. Henry. You know, he was a fireman, and this man, they would always organize some clubs and some things, and we always organize and make sure that the youths were actually constantly engaged. I want to shout him out, man, as he helped me in my manhood. Dr. Charles, you know, who is a man also that was my teacher, my science teacher at secondary school. He actually made me know that I was bright. You know, Mr. August, you know, I mean, he was among one of the first people who actually began working in a bank and, you know, and going to having degrees and all these different type of things and different people, you know. And I mean, he's a man who actually, and he was among us, these people that came back and contributed, you know, and working in jobs and things and stayed among the youth. I'm talking about Lagwas, Labrie, you know, in the countryside, and re-injected time and energy. Mr. August, you know, for cricket and all these men there, these people actually injected time and energy and effort, you know, into the youth. You know, and when I was growing up, I mean, I give thanks at my brethren there, Mr. Purcell, you know, live on Instagram. I give thanks, brethren, for, you know, he's a man that always be nice and clean and sharp. You know, we were Adventists together. Taught I and I how to groom and take care of I and I self and smell nice and sweet. So even if, you know, as a society, we had these people around us that actually impacted positively as a young man. So when you see the product, our generation, our product is not in isolation. It's because of the impact of all these different people that were around us in our society that are actually contributing and injecting time and energy and effort into make the young man what they are today. So even today, as a consequence of how we are today, is also because of a lack of that level of injection in community by the man and them. So man, step up yourself and check for the youths going around you, mentor someone and take somebody and make sure that, you know, you see, check for them. Like all these people who actually check for me. I give thanks again on my world for checking for me. So I am a product of all these beautiful, wonderful people there, man. I give thanks. So our time is up. Definitely give thanks for all those of you who were with us today, and give thanks for life and the mighty life giver. And give thanks definitely that I could have had this opportunity to be with you. Remember that every Tuesday from 7 p.m., you know, until 9 p.m. we are live on HTS television and also live on Instagram and live on YouTube. Give thanks for all those beloved people who are with us and were with us, and give thanks for that. Jah Rastafari, blessed, give thanks. Give thanks, honorable Rastafari. Yes, Dexter, man, give thanks, man. Elena,